Hello, everybody. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap Up, brought to you by FHT Sports. We want to give everybody, unless I'm wrong, I will be right about these picks. We have the Divisional Round playoffs in the NFL this weekend. Game time starts out here on the West Coast at about 1:30. Yep, 1:35. Wanted to just double check my time. So we have two games today. The first game at 1:35 in a very snowy Kansas City is the Colts and the Chiefs. Now, I've been on the Mahomes bandwagon all year, and Andy Reid's record, I think it's like something like 14-1 when it comes to games where he has a couple of weeks to get ready for a big matchup, and so this is right in the wheelhouse of Andy Reid. This is right in the wheelhouse of Kansas City. Philly had to get out with their playoff lives last week. So this is right in the wheelhouse for the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's a little known thing. A lot of people don't realize. Again, wind, we got to worry about that. When the weather is as crappy as it will be in the game today at Arrowhead, most people don't realize this, but it's a statistical fact. You know me, I don't like the statistics because they're manipulated. But the truth is, the passing game, and you want to run the ball, right? So you know that Kansas City's going to try to run the ball, and you know they're hurt there because of the suspension. And Eagles are going to try to run as well. But the truth is, when you do pass, that the offense actually has much more of an advantage than the defense. Why? And I mentioned the Eagles. My apologies. I'm sorry. I meant the Colts. The Colts had an easy win, not the Eagles. The Eagles got with the playoff lives. I'm talking about Andy Reid with Kansas City. So sorry about that malaprop. So anyway, with the Colts and the Chiefs this morning, we have the opportunity right now to see Andrew Luck on the road and against the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know the Kansas City Chiefs, like I mentioned, Andy Reid's going to have this team ready. Mahomes is going to do what Mahomes does. Both teams are going to try to run the ball. But the truth is, like I mentioned, from an offensive perspective, the passing game actually has a huge advantage over the defense because the route runner knows where he's supposed to go. He's not reacting. So he's not pivoting in a reactionary way because you're predetermined where you want to go. So also Mahomes, if the weather wind-wise is not horrific, can throw the ball where the receiver should be. Augment the timing a little bit for the weather, and I think the offense has a very big opportunity. So we have Reid with a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of preparation. We have Kansas City playing at home in front of some rabid fans. It's some awesome football weather, throwback weather. Mahomes, 50 touchdowns this year. And so my prediction is the Colts. My prediction will be the Colts for a couple of reasons. One, I don't trust Andy Reid in a big spot, even though he has an unbelievable record after a bye or working 2 weeks to get ready for a game. And Mahomes has done some excellent things. I think what happened in their running game in terms of the release of their running back will hurt them. I think that Indy will do just enough. And I think their running back reminds me of an Edgerrin James type. I think he will just go right up the middle against Kansas City. Just enough misdirection where the defense starts to question what they should do. Are they going to cheat up? Are they going to play back a little bit? I think you got to worry about Mahomes, right? You got to worry about Mahomes. But remember, when Mahomes gets in a shootout, he's a little vulnerable. He threw a bunch of interceptions when they played that game against the Rams earlier this year. So Colts in a very big upset, and they expect all the talking heads to talk about how Andy Reid, who they were calling the geniuses a couple of weeks ago, can't get the big 1-1, except for the one time they went in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Later on, we have the Cowboys and the Rams. Now remember, last week I picked Cowboys for all the reasons that we know, right? Ezekiel Elliott, running the rock, and I think Dak does. So a lot of people, they disrespect Dak. He does just enough on a great day. I think Dak has his limitations, like every quarterback. Every quarterback has a hole. In baseball analogy, they've got a hole in their swing. But Dak has some things that he doesn't do as well as some other things. I don't think he can force an accurate throw, but I think there's a lot of talent out there. I think Amari Cooper, this hasn't been spoken about enough, will really look to shine because he's back in California playing for the Raiders. It's not a long drive. I think he'll be up to the task there. But I think the Rams win this game, and I think the Rams win this game by a bunch. Not a blowout, but just one of those 10-point games, 13-point games where kept it close, but you never really were in doubt who was going to win the game. I think Gurley is going to have a show. I think Goff is in a situation right now where people are starting to question him. A little bit like people questioning Mahomes with a couple of those interceptions. Though Goff really took it on the chin in terms of some happy feet, panicking. So I think the Rams have a lot to show here this week against the Cowboys. I think it's a game where there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans in the stands, but I think the Rams win. So today you got the Rams winning and you got the Colts winning. Tomorrow, Chargers, Patriots. You know, full transparency. I love to see the Patriots lose. As a person who respects the heck out of Brady, but being a Jet fan, you know, again, you got that. But my job also is just to be open and honest about what I see is going to happen here. So, and what is that? I think that the Chargers, and I'd be really happy if the Chargers win. I'd like to see them finally break through. You know, I'd like to see the quarterback do well. But the truth is, like they almost gave the game away last week against a quarterback that's just awful. Awful in terms of throwing the ball. I think Gronkowski's way over his prime. Gronk way over his prime, and he's one of these guys now that maybe subconsciously, maybe on purpose, they put more effort into some games than they do others. I think Antonio Gates and Gronkowski, if they had a race, I think you would need to shave twice before they finish. Both of them are slow. So I'd like to see the Chargers win, but they are forever failing miserably for decades now in the fourth quarter. They made a game out of a game that shouldn't have been a game last week. And I want to see them win. They got so much talent, especially on defense. I think the way that the Chargers do win is on defense. They do just enough on offense, and the way to beat Brady is not a secret. You just pound the snot out of him legally. You pound the snot out of him. He doesn't like it, and you talk crap, and you get him emotional, and then he does what he did in the Super Bowl last year. People don't want to talk about that. They talk about all these points, but the truth is, he was throwing balls up for grabs. He was dropping ball. He was dropping. Yes, I know he threw for all those yards, but you don't just look at one stat, right? You got to look at the whole. You got to look at the whole thing. So that's the way that you beat the Patriots. Is you just put a helmet. You can't put a helmet anymore, right? You put a shoulder pad very nicely and gingerly, so nobody gets hurt or offended on Brady. But I do think Brady, unfortunately, wins this game. I think the Patriots do. And I think they win by 6. But again, whatever, that's my secondary thing. I'm not a spread guy. That's the hockey guru. But so that's what I think there. So I think my heart tells me Chargers, my head tells me Patriots. So I think the Patriots win. Then the last game is probably most intriguing to me, and that is the Saints and the Eagles. And the Saints put a beat down on the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. The Eagles just got by with that blocked field goal that wasn't a miss by Parkey. And so I think Foles is riding the wave. I think he's the guy now and going forward for the Eagles. I think they can trade Carson Wentz if they get the right program. Or just kind of go back. But, I think Foles is the guy unless he stinks it up today. I think Drew Brees will do just enough. I think this is another game. And it's funny because I keep seeing the talking heads, Darren, you want to be a talking head. But I watch the stuff and it's so manipulated. I just saw something on one of the shows where they were talking about it's offense this year, it's offense, and they're reading from their little cue cards, and no, it's not. It's defense. You need enough offense to win championships, and it's defense at the right times. Still a game plan. You still win by being able to run the ball and to play stout defense. And what most people again realize, don't think about it, don't talk about, is the special teams, special team coverage, punting at the right time, doing the coffin corner kick, which you hardly ever see anymore, being able to kick field goals from distance, and playing a field possession game. Even with all of these rules that, for me, will never allow a current quarterback to be considered the GOAT, he has to be considered the best in his generation, or the best in his time. So, I think the Eagles' glory ride ends today. I think, ends tomorrow, and I think the Saints pull out the victory. And in a comfortable way, but you're still close, but it's not a total blowout, but 2 touchdowns, keeps you watching. And so, in recap, who do we have? We have the Colts winning in snow on the road. We have the Rams doing away with the Cowboys. We have the Patriots beating the Chargers. And again, unfortunately for me, because I don't like the Patriots, but I respect the heck out of them. And then you have the Eagles and the Saints, and you have the Saints winning there. So you have the Saints, the Patriots, you have the Rams, and you have the Colts. Let me know what you think. Colts, Rams. Then you have the Eagles, and you have the Patriots. Those are my picks for the weekend. We will be at Selland Arena tonight for Hockey Heritage Night. Make sure that you're there. Remember, Fresno State has a huge game against number 10 Nevada at the Savmont Center. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap Up. This is what we do, and we do it better than anybody else locally, and actually, it's most likely nationally. So keep watch, follow, share. Let me know what you think. Darren Redmond, FHT Sports.